Welcome, everyone, to episode 8 of Healthy Mind, Fit Body podcast. This is Wes, and have Kevin on the other line. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Wes. How's it going?
It's going well. Kind of around the holiday season of Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
You got your costume already?
I'm still working on it. Need to pick up a couple things this afternoon after we're done here, but it's coming together.
Going to be a Healthy Mind, Fit Body technician?
Yeah, I'm actually going to be an alternative doctor. So
Alternative. Not so much mainstream, huh?
Not the mainstream type, but I'll have a stethoscope, so in case anyone needs that, I'm going to be there to help.
Maybe dispense some pills, some get cured quick schemes.
Yeah, some pills and some smokable items that, may help people in some fashion.
For medicinal purposes only, right?
Of course, yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Yes, there are all kinds of concoctions out there in the alternative realm as well as mainstream looking at how to increase one's longevity, which is the topic for this podcast. How do we live long enough to live forever? Or at least long enough to get past 100, right?
Yeah, past 100 would be nice. I'm actually shooting for 200. If that were possible, I'd be all over that.
I got my sights set on an even 1,000.
Even 1,000. Oh, that'd be good.
1,000 years for starters, kids.
Yeah. So, yeah, this actually ties in nicely. I just wrote an article on slowing the aging process.
Mm-hmm.
So this is good stuff. Figuring out how we're going to live to be at least over 100. Then we'll work on the 1,000 after that. But we can really learn a lot from people that have already done it, right?
Yeah, I remember I went to a LA Futurist meeting one time back, 5 years ago. And a guy was talking at the campus of UCLA about centenarians and longevity and looking at the figures and what actually causes people to live long lives. And it's kind of all over the map. If you do the actual research and surveys of people that are over 100, what their claim to fame is. And I guess it boils down to a lot of good genes, and of course some healthy practices wouldn't hurt either. I mean, I guess if you don't have those good genes, then you've got to try to make up for it some way, right?
Yeah, and I think that this article by Bill Sardi gets into it a little bit. It's called Here Come the Centenarians.
Here come the old fogies.
Here come the old fogies. So he talks about Japan. And Japan is leading the world by a long shot, actually, as far as the most centenarians. And second is France. But it looks like Japan has age 80 and over is 4,700,000, and they have 11,546 apparently that are age 100 or over.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about Okinawa, and that's always the fallback. There's actually a book written about what is going on in Okinawa, why are those people living so long. And, I think in the book, I kind of skimmed through it. I didn't get into the details, but they talk a lot about their diet, of course, and they eat
a lot of fish.
Eat a lot of fish and a lot of vegetables, and vegetables that aren't grown in other parts of the country, just specific to that region.
Yeah, and so also the Japanese eat a lot of seafood with a lot of omega-3 fatty acids. It definitely has a good effect on preventing various chronic illnesses, cancer and heart disease, stroke.
Yeah, and I think that's something that isn't emphasized enough out there is the need to take omega-3s as a supplement. And ideally, the best form would be to take fish oils.
Mm-hmm.
But especially people that, for whatever reason, don't eat fish, I think that they're really missing out on those anti-inflammatories that are in the omega-3s. And we need those. I mean, that isn't something that we should be just skipping, because that will accelerate your aging process. If you're not getting the omega-3s and you're getting a lot of omega-6s, you're definitely going to accelerate your aging process. And that shows up not only in your health, but in your looks. So, that's one thing that I recommend. I mentioned that in the article that I wrote on anti-aging is taking the fish oils or eating fish a couple times a week.
Mm-hmm. It's important to look for the capsules. I guess they're all in capsule form.
Yeah.
And you want the molecularly distilled ones that don't have the various toxins and residues from the various fish, because the bigger the fish in the oceans, the more they accumulate toxins.
Right.
So sometimes you'll see omega-3s from sardines, which are probably a better form of the cold water fishes. Anyway, the other aspect that he talks about here is the French, and the French paradox, of course, eating more fat and yet having less disease and more longevity. But they drink a lot of wine. A lot of winos over there in France, right?
Yeah. No, he says French who drink 3 to 5 glasses of red wine a day experience optimal health benefits. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's going to be tough to do. But like I said earlier before we started, you could spread that out throughout the day. So, maybe have a couple glasses of wine at breakfast and, a couple more at lunch and then one with dinner and you're good to go, right?
I tend to pour it on my grape nuts, actually. I go to bumwines.com for all my wine.
That probably is actually a site.
It is actually a site. Put that in the show notes for all you people that like the cheaper wines.
Yeah.
Mad Dog 2020, Night Train Express.
How about Boone's Strawberry Hill?
That's quite a thrill. I found my thrill on Boone's Strawberry Hill.
Yes. Yeah. So not only does it give you thrills, but it gives you antioxidants. So you think he's talking about the resveratrol in the wine, or is this something else that they're getting out of?
I don't think he mentions resveratrol once, does he? Well, he does, actually. He says, yet unlike other winemakers who produce wine in assembly line fashion and only ferment their product for 1 week, the French ferment their wine 4 weeks and produce a dark red wine that is rich in molecules the public is now becoming familiar with: resveratrol, quercetin, and proanthocyanidins. Say that 10 times fast, Kevin.
I don't even think I'd say it once.
It'll twist your tongue in a knot 3 times sideways.
And that's before drinking 5 glasses of wine, right?
He says, this is true medicinal wine. This is from a Nature 2006 journal article. So if confused about which French red wine to try first, taste test wines made from the Tanat grape in the southwestern region of Madaran that are known to be rich in the molecules mentioned above. So this is kind of being pitched as the holy grail for longevity, but I mean, these are just epidemiological studies or surveys seeing, okay, why are the French living longer, and trying to figure that out because of the numbers of French that are living longer. But I think with the overall message of a healthy mind, fit body, which we get into in our book, it's important to have the holistic view of this mind-body integration and to try to relieve stress, minimize stress in your life, and increase sort of positive aspects of your life, and focus on the nutritional aspect that actually is going to keep and maintain a healthy weight for you, a healthy body fat percentage. And all those factors come into play in terms of longevity, because again, not all of us have the good genes where you can drink or smoke excessively and you end up living over 100. I mean, some people do that. It's amazing.